It's snowing as I'm driving to the gym heavily, and it's been snowing all night. And I'm in my tiny little go-kart, tiny little sedan, which means I've got a little extra time. So I put on a podcast. And as I'm listening to this podcast, I'm being careful not to drive too quickly because I don't have four-wheel drive. And I'm also being careful not to drive too slowly. I can't come to a complete stop because then I'll get stuck in the snow. Those of you that live in snowy climates will know what I'm talking about. Those of you who have only seen snow in movies may not understand what I'm talking about. But I have to drive this Goldilocks level speed while I'm listening to this podcast. And during the podcast, the host brings up an interesting question. But it's a question that I'm not really familiar with. He asks the question, are we born as a Zoe or a Zelda? Or is this something that we can change? Now, I don't know what that means. So luckily, there must be several people who don't know what that means, because he goes on to explain that there's a television program called BoJack Horseman. And in BoJack Horseman, there are two characters, two sisters, a Zoe and a Zelda. One of the sisters is named Zelda, and Zelda is happy, optimistic, and cheery, and always in a good mood. It just kind of won the genetic lottery, right? It has this just cheery disposition. And Zoe, on the other hand, her sister, might even be her twin, is the opposite. Just always in a dark mood, kind of unhappy, almost depressed all or most of the time, kind of moody, has mood swings. And they're sisters, right? So they have the same environment. So the nurture would be very similar, but the nature is different. So that's the question. Like, are we just happy by nature and unhappy by nature, or is there something that we can do about it? Now, that's really fascinating to me. And that's the second or third time I've heard somebody bring up this show, BoJack Horseman. So I convinced my wife, hey, we should check out this R-rated cartoon show, see what it's all about. So as I'm watching, through the seasons of BoJack Horseman, I realize the show is really about a very successful actor. And this actor has it all. He's got all the money he could ever need. He's got one of the best houses in Hollywood. He's got all the fans and followers that he could ever need. He's got respect. He's got awards. But he's miserable. He's not even just unhappy. He's miserable. So then he thinks, well, maybe I need to set some more goals and achieve those. Maybe once I win an Oscar, then I'll finally be happy. Once I maybe win that award, then I'll finally be happy. And then he gets there. And he does it. And it doesn't bring him any happiness. And so then I realize, well, this is pretty profound, because this describes a lot of us. Now, of course, we're not all famous actors, but we all have some level of success that we're shooting for. We have some level of this target that we're aiming at. And our hope is that when we get there, we're going to be happy. And so therein lies this paradox of success. It is very, very possible, very likely, that less successful people can be more happy than more successful people. Find out more right after this. Hey, it's Derek Hagan. I'm a financial therapist and financial life planner, here with another Money Health presentation where we're going to talk about the paradox of success. Okay, so it's intuitive to feel like once we succeed at whatever we set out to do, then we'll get some happiness. Whatever this means. This could be career success, it could be personal success or financial success, right? It just feels like that should be an upward sloping line. The more successful we get this way, the higher happiness we should get. That should be a very steep line. The reality is that if you were unhappy before your success, you're going to be unhappy after your success. So this gap is the paradox of success, because you can be very successful and not be all that happy. And this paradox is a real thing. Now, it doesn't even just say, this is deeper than just saying, yeah, it's not going to bring much success. It's really saying that somebody over here can be, not all the time. I did upward slope this a little bit. But people over here can be happier than people over here. And that's an interesting paradox. And the reason is, the people who are actually successful, the people that succeeded at everything that they set out to do, They've taken this journey. They're expecting to be up here, man. They think they should be up here. They're down here, and they're left thinking, what? Where's the happiness? Where's the joy? I've got none of that. I'm confused. The happiness that I thought was going to be here is not here. So that person's going to be deflated a little bit, because now I'm going to feel like, well, I should be up there, but I'm not. I should be happy, but I'm not. There must be something wrong with me. Or maybe I need to keep looking for success. Maybe then I'll finally be happy. Whereas you got this other person back here, not quite successful yet, but they got their eyes up on the prize. They've got this hope. Now, they don't know that it's false hope, but they carry this hope. Whereas this person's there and says, I've done everything I'm supposed to do. I've checked all the boxes. Where's my happiness? And this person says, let's do it. All this work is finally going to be worth it. So this person's going to be happier because all else equal, they have the same goals, but this person has hope. This person didn't have any hope. It's that hope that makes this person happier. And so the question is, if success isn't what we're supposed to aim at, what are we supposed to aim at? And the answer is that there's no canned answer. The answer is it depends. If the answer is not it depends, you're talking to somebody who doesn't understand human nature. We all have different values. So if we're not going to chase success, scratch that out and try to figure out what that is for you. What is this for you that will change this line from kind of flat and move it up? So the thing that you aim at, if you get there, or if you're on the right track, will bring you happiness. What is that for you? For some people, it's more time with family. For some people, it's time outdoors. For some people, it's learning how to meditate or prayer or some other contemplative tradition. For some people, it's a specific activity or hobby. So it could be writing or biking or backpacking. But this is your responsibility. Nobody can figure this out for you. What will bring you happiness? Now, there's a happiness expert, Tal Ben-Shahar, who's written several books, but in two of his most recent books, Happiness Studies and Happier No Matter What, he breaks happiness down into different elements of well-being. He defines happiness as whole person well-being. So this is different from happiness is the same thing as having fun, or happiness is the same thing as feeling joy all the time. That's not it at all, because there is the E element here is emotional well-being, which means you have permission to be human, and negative emotions are part of being human. Now, learning to cope with negative emotions is part of this E, but it's 5 different elements. There's spire elements, we call them. Spiritual well-being. Spiritual well-being is, do you feel connected to something bigger than yourself? Do you have a purpose? Are you doing things that will make your life meaningful? Physical well-being. If you don't take care of your body, you're unlikely to be happy. And there's this mind-body connection that really, it's a real thing. So taking care of your body helps to take care of your mind, and vice versa. So physical well-being, intellectual well-being. Are you curious? Are you learning? If you're not learning, you're probably not going to be as happy as you can be. Now, relational well-being. How are your relationships? We are social creatures. In fact, one of the things you lose when you retire, a lot of retired people end up being unhappy because they lose their relationships. They also lose their problem solving. They lose the I and the R when they retire. So they become unhappy. And then the emotional well-being piece. Now, financial well-being is not part of this spire element because all these spire elements are worthwhile in and of themselves. You can pursue these things and get happy. Be happy when you've got spiritual well-being or physical well-being and so on. But those are ends. Money is not an end. Money is not a goal. Money is not something that you're going to collect a big pile of it and then say, I did it, I'm happy, I got it, done. No. Money is a tool that you can use to support these elements. Having a healthy relationship with money, having financial well-being is important. I'm not trying to suggest that it's not important. But it's important insofar as it's a tool that you can use to create happiness via the spire elements to you through your values. And this, once you break the spell, break the idea that money is a goal, and instead view it as a tool, you get to figure out what's the money for. Why is money in your life? Once your basic needs are met, you don't need quote unquote money, but you have money. Why? That becomes the foundation of your financial life. What's your financial purpose? What's your money for? And all of your financial decisions rest on top of your financial purpose. So what's money need to do for you? How can you use your money as a tool to bring you life of happiness? How can you use your money as a tool to build a life and design a life that you'll be happy to look back on as you lay on your deathbed? You only have one life. Live intentionally.